Welcome to day 11 of 12 of the 12 Days of Finance. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm Robin. I'm a certified financial planner, certified private wealth advisor, wealth manager by trade, and your rich auntie. I spend a lot of time on social media as a function of a content creator for YouTube. And I run across a lot of content, and some of the content, quite frankly, is disturbing. And part of that content is advice given to younger generations of people about finance, about money, about jobs, and about life in general. And oftentimes it's a lot of misguided advice, doom and gloom. And when you go into the comments section, it's even worse. And what I realize is we have an epidemic of depression and anxiety in our society. And unfortunately, a lot of that is coming out in social media and online. And the second thing I realize is a lot of the younger generation really don't have older generations, whether it's Gen X, boomers, or the silent generation, to rely on and giving them advice and navigating their lives. And so people end up going online and they fall into these rabbit holes where they never get good or accurate advice, because a lot of the information I've seen given to millennials, Gen Zers, Gen Alpha is just objectively wrong. And how do I know that? Because I've lived life. I'm a middle-aged woman who's had my fair share of knocks and pings and understands how life actually works. So I've definitely replied to people in the comment section, but what I realize is that I have a bigger platform as a content creator. And I want to tell you what I, as myself, and what I have noticed from countless millionaires that I've worked with, some really important lessons that people need to know early on in life. So, first things first, jobs. You're going to work some crappy jobs. I have worked some crappy and ridiculous jobs before I made it into the field of wealth management. I have worked minimum wage jobs. I have worked jobs where unfortunately I was abused, and I would never tolerate that sort of behavior or that sort of treatment now, but I didn't know that in my 20s and even into my early 30s. Younger people, a lot of younger people think that they're going to have this storied career where they're never going to have to work a crappy job, they're never going to have to do minimum wage, or they're never going to come up against really difficult and awkward situations. And I'm here to tell you that that's not the case. Everyone basically does their share of crappy jobs. The way to handle it is to see these jobs as a bridge from here to there. You don't get stuck in these jobs forever. You get what you need from the position and then you move on. Now, as I've gotten more advanced in my career and I moved towards the career I now love, wealth management, I realized that some of those crappy jobs I held in my 20s and even early 30s were absolutely instrumental in helping me succeed as a wealth manager. How? Many of the contacts and connections I made through those not so great jobs, some of those people became my first clients. Some of those people referred to me as a wealth manager. I don't think I would have made it the first few years as a wealth manager had I not held down those crappy jobs 10 years, 15 years prior. So I understand that everyone wants the prestige field job earning a six-figure income with full benefits, but that typically doesn't happen out the gate. That typically happens many jobs in. Take those crappy jobs seriously, see it as a bridge from here to there. Get out when it's time to get out and move forward, but everyone does it, and it's instrumental in building character and building your development as a professional. The next thing I would say, this one's going to be controversial. Don't expect to get a living wage out of a job unless you have a significant skill that is in demand by your employer. Now, I have worked minimum wage jobs in the past, mostly when I was a teenager. And when I worked minimum wage jobs, minimum wage was like $5.15 or something ridiculous an hour. No one no one is going to pay you a living wage for bare minimum skills. That's just the way it is. Even though minimum wage is $15 an hour now, here in San Francisco, California, it's $20 an hour. It's bare minimum wage for bare minimum work and bare minimum skills. I think there is a problem in our society with people trying to create a livable standard based on minimum wage, and minimum wage was never intended as a really livable standard where you could survive comfortably and flourish. It was basically designed as a income for people who have minimal skill sets and to help them as a stepping stone to move on to the next part of their lives and careers. And now you have people who anticipate spending their whole working career in minimum wage jobs. It's just not intended for that. Once again, that minimum wage job may be a bridge from here to there. Sometimes you have to do whatever you need to do to get from here to there. You take that minimum wage job and you take those wages to move on to the next stage in life, but you don't get trapped in minimum wage work. Remember, it's never intended for you to buy a home, raise a family, take care of yourself, take care, of your entire family. It's just not intended for that purpose, and minimum wage will likely never be able to serve that purpose. No one owes you anything. People don't owe you anything. Your family really doesn't owe you anything. The government doesn't owe you anything. No one really owes you anything. And it's a very sobering but empowering thought about life at the same time, because you stop expecting things of other people and you take whatever they give you with acceptance and gratitude. Now, I have great friends. I have a family. All families have their own story, and these people really have come to my rescue at times and have helped me out. Sometimes they couldn't. Sometimes I just had to figure things out on my own, and I did. But I never felt like friends or family ever really owed me anything, and anything and everything they did for me was a courtesy and was treated as a favor, as a courtesy to me. There's so much of a sense of entitlement among younger people, and it often, when you feel like someone owes you something, whether it's the government, friends, family, it can crystallize over time into a deep set entitlement. And I've seen it really shut people down so that they feel they don't have to take action. They feel they don't have to do anything. Everything is due to them. And they wait around for things to occur, for this politician to be into office, or this friend to do them this favor, or someone else to find a job, or someone else to help them find a relationship. It really cripples their psychology. So go through life with the attitude that no one really owes you anything, and whatever someone offers you is a courtesy and should be accepted with gratitude. No one should or will care about you or your future more than you do. This includes teachers, this includes family members, siblings, friends, people who are closest to you. You care about your future and you care about your problems and issues more than anyone else ever will. And you need to have more of a vested take than anyone else ever will in resolving your own problems and living your own life and making your own choices. So no one will care about you, your life, your problems as much as you do. You will encounter bad luck. You will encounter bad luck at some point of your life. You will encounter periods of time where things just don't work out. It's not that we encounter bad luck, it's how we deal with the bad luck that ultimately matters. Don't get caught in a cycle of bad luck, but bad things do happen to good people. Sometimes it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to fix. Basically, accept that bad luck is part of life. Do whatever you can to fix the situation and just move on. Adversity will find you. You don't ever need to go search for it. Be careful of making hard mode decisions in life. For example, I was having a conversation with a young man who got a degree in psychology and was having difficulty finding a job. Majoring in psychology could be considered a hard mode decision. It doesn't lead to a specific job or specific type of employment. I mean, some people go forward into law school or other professions based on that psychology degree, but it's a bachelor's degree in psychology doesn't necessarily lead immediately to a profession. Sometimes we accidentally make hard mode decisions. We don't realize it at the time, but we're making a decision that's going to make our lives harder. And sometimes we're just handed a hard mode decision and we have to make the best of it. Essentially, whenever we have an opportunity to avoid making a hard mode decision, unless you really want to play life on hard mode, it's probably best to avoid that decision. An example in my own life, I have a master's in healthcare. I worked in public health for the first 2 years of my career. That probably wasn't the smartest decision. Why? Because public health doesn't pay. I don't have any regrets about pursuing advanced education. I ultimately was able to course correct that mistake in my life and my decision, but I inadvertently made a hard mode decision that could have led to a very different outcome, very different life trajectory if I didn't take the time and energy to course correct and get into a field that actually paid well. So be careful. You don't have to go search for adversity. Eventually will find you. Hard mode decisions, be very, very careful about making hard mode decisions. It's never about making the right decision. It's always about making decisions right. Now, I've had decisions that have gone pear-shaped and haven't exactly turned out the way that I anticipated, but I realize I have a pretty good knack of making decisions right. And even when decisions don't turn out as I have hoped it would turn out, I still got something, whether it's a contact, connection, opportunity, my next job, an idea. I got something out of that I was able to weave into something useful. Now, you're not always going to know immediately how things turn out, and you're going to go into situations blind, but it really helps when you have the confidence to know that you have the ability to make decisions right. So it becomes less about making the perfect decisions, but it becomes about who you are as a person and your own personal character and the opportunities that you can find, even in the dimmest of situations, to make a situation work for you. Read. Please read. Something that I find really, really disturbing is I see literacy corroding in American society. Most Americans don't have a high degree of literacy, and even that marginal degree of literacy is dropping. Every millionaire I know reads. Okay. I read. Everyone I know who works in a prestige profession, whether it's law, medicine, wealth management, whatever, they read and they can read at a high level. One of the most important things you can do in your life is make sure you are reading at an appropriate level and you keep that level of literacy for the rest of your life. It will impact your finances, it'll impact your intimate relationships, it'll impact your health. So please read. Don't ever live terminally online. All success is built to some degree in real life. There are people I meet who I feel are online way too much, and they're basically living vicariously through the experiences of other people. They often have issues with socialization and with anxiety, and they feel it is safer to live those experiences behind the screen of a computer and watch what other people are doing. These people often are not very successful. Why? Because all success is built in real life. Even content creators and social media creators, eventually you have to shut off the camera and shut off the computer and get in front of people in real life to support your channel, to build your brand, and to build your base. It's really becoming hard for younger generations like Generation Z, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, because there's a lot of people who are terminally online and who cannot break the addiction to social media. They also have anxiety and depression, so they often can't get from behind the screen and get into real life. But all success is built in real life. Social media, it offers a hollowed out version of human connection, and it usually will not help you. For myself as a content creator, I had to build my career as a wealth manager for over a decade and then come into social media. And there are those people who have built successful social media brands, and they're skilled, but they're also profoundly lucky. A lot of people who make it through social media have a following in real life or have built something in real life and have just used social media as a platform to expand on that. There are so many younger people who believe that they can basically build an entire career online. And I'm here to tell you it's just not going to happen. Turn off the computer, turn off the camera, turn off the microphone, get in real life, get in front of people, and start creating your life. So there you have it. As I said, if you found this information useful, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have a younger person, a niece, nephew, child, sibling, who is struggling in life and needs kind of the straight dope on what happens and how success is built, please share this video. I want more people and my audience, if you have a story of success, please share it in the comments section. Please be kind, because younger people may be reading the comments section and they really do need encouragement and support and positive information to help them realize that a lot of information they're seeing online and from other people in their generation just isn't true and just isn't accurate. So thank you.